do, I like it though. I know I'm fine, but the money makes me handsomer. Walk around smelling like a come up in the answer for her problems, but I'm not him, I don't mind it though. You don't like me how you think you do, I like it though.
Hello, and welcome everybody to another episode of the Hopeful Romantic M.A.N. podcast. I'm your host, Dropping Dimes, aka the Hopeful Romantic. I got a great show for you today because it's kind of like a culmination of maybe the last couple of years of one of the biggest questions that I get. It's not a long question where it's drawn out about a specific situation. I've been doing a lot of relationship coaching, and a lot of my, a lot of my clientele is female, women, okay? And they usually of a certain age, and they have questions. Because what I try to do is I try to kind of like give a roadmap and be like, hey, listen, this is what's kind of going on, and give like a roadmap on, how to just have like a healthier situation for themselves, especially if they continually find themselves in bad relationships, or they're hurting over a relationship, or they want their ex back, or they're heartbroken, or they haven't just been able to find anyone, right? And I often face a situation where the women get frustrated and they pretty much look at me and say, stop with the bullshit. Tell me what to look for. How can I tell if a guy is full of shit or if he's for real? What can I look for? What specifically can I look for? What am I watching for? Why is it that, you're telling me all these beautiful things about what I deserve and what I should look for and what the universe has in store for me and all these things. And I know I talk in a very poetic fashion, but it frustrates people that want answers. It does. It frustrates people that want answers. They want to know today, like, tell me, give me a shortcut on how to avoid this. Because while we're talking, and it's all good, and I am growing and I'm learning, I still have to live, and I'm still working out there in the real world, and I'm still stumbling into these guys that are playing games with me, and they're doing that at a really high level, or they're doing it in a way where I'm not catching it, and I kind of find myself in the same repeatedly, whether it's a guy who just is not economically set, lives in he still lives like a boy, you know what I mean? Or a guy that just cannot be faithful. Or I meet a guy that's, just not who he says he was. He's not consistent. He may have money, but he doesn't give me attention, or all these different scenarios that go into play. And I find that, I get it. I get your frustration. I understand. And I decided, you know what? I always tell people, listen, man, I'm not sitting here like on a pulpit trying to preach like I'm some kind of holier than thou dude. For a large part of my life, I wasn't shit. And I mean that. I wasn't shit in relationships. You know what I mean? Like I've done my dirt. I've screwed people over. I've been a cheater. I've been an asshole. I've been inconsistent. I've been, a liar. I've been all those things. I don't want to sit here and try to front like I'm I'm the best. I'm the sweetest guy. No, that's not what it is. I'm a regular dude. I've been there, done that. I've done some, I feel like I've grown. I feel like I've evolved. I feel like I'm finally in a space where I love myself and that I could be a good man to a good woman. That's now. But it took a long time of me evolving, me finding myself, me understanding who I was, which leads me to my first point. There's only one answer that a woman needs from a man. There's only one question that you need the answer to. No other question is important as this question. Does this man love himself? Not does he take care of himself, not does he like himself, not does he make money, not does he look good, not is he clean, not is he, no. Does he genuinely love himself? Is he using band-aids for emotions that need stitches, or is he genuinely a person who has addressed many of the things that he's experienced that have hurt him, that he's learned from? See, a lot of guys, what we're really good at is we're really good at covering that up. We're really good at covering that up. We're really good at showing you a complete bullshit side, you know? So it's important. So how does a woman not fall into that trap? Because Mike, you're telling me that I need the answer to that question, but men are masters at hiding the answer to that question and shadowing it and looking at it. Well, I've decided that today I'm going to go over some things that you should look for and possibly some techniques. And fellas, I know, I'm not trying to be a sucker here, but it was it was a genuine question that was posed to me. So I felt like I needed to come up with some things. I'm not going to tell all the secrets because at the end of the day, like I say, I'm the feminist with chauvinist tendencies, so I still have my chauvinist side to me. Don't get me wrong, but I'm going to try to do my best to give you some guidelines, some things to look at, things to kind of do to tell the difference if you're dating a man or a boy. That's a really important one. Like, understand who you're in the pocket with. Are you there standing in front of a man or a boy? Now, here's the thing: you could be with a 25-year-old man or a 45-year-old boy. Age is not the criteria. It's literally how this person carries their emotions and who they are. So that's something I want to throw out there. Some of the things you could look for. Again, the first question you need the answer to is, does this person love themselves? Because unless they love themselves, it doesn't matter how good a woman you are. It doesn't matter how amazing you are. You could be fantastic. You could have done everything on your knees and loved him and satisfied him and cooked for him. You could have done it all. But if he doesn't love himself, you're literally just a bump in the road on the way to self-discovery. You'll never be able to love him into existence. You can't do it. You can't love somebody so much that you fix them and they end up loving you. It doesn't work that way, and it never will. And you'll always end up feeling empty because this person, I always say, when somebody tells you they love you with all their heart, a lot of times they're not lying. A lot of men are not lying when they tell you, I love you with all my heart. Unfortunately, when you figure out how much they actually love themselves, you realize they're not capable of loving you at the level that you need to be loved. They're only able to love you at the level they're able to love. So when they tell you they love you with all their heart, let's use a number. I can love you to a level 6. That's all my heart. My heart fills up at 6. But you need a level 10 type love. So you'll always end up feeling empty because even though I love you with all my heart, it's not enough. And sometimes love is not enough. All right. So let's move on. Let's kind of go. One of the things I want to tell women, right? And it's so funny because I find that the more street smart, the more slick, the more experienced the woman is, the more she falls into this trap. And the easier it is to figure out what motivates her. A guy's going to talk to you, and when he's talking to you, what he's trying to do is he's trying to figure out what your motivation is, what your trigger is. All right. And he does that through conversation. Now, the sad part is women love a person that can have a great conversation, a good communicator. So they'll sit in front of you, and the adult thing is that when you're sitting in front of someone, let's have a mature conversation. Let's share. Let's open up. Let's see who each other are. We're both, for all intents and purposes, sitting here to give our true self. No, it's not true. It's simply not true. We're not. We're not doing the same thing. When a man and a woman sit across from each other, right, it may feel sincere. And listen, Once I'm gonna clear it up because I'm gonna, oh no, my man and my person, when I got in front of him, he was so, I'm gonna clear that up for you. This is not about your soulmate. This is about a guy that's screwing you over, that's trying to do you dirty. All right. The guy that sits across from you, when he sits across from you, he starts a conversation. And as the conversation goes along, he's looking at the cracks. Men are like water. We take the path of least resistance, and he's looking for that path as he talks to you. And I'm going to give you some examples, but I'm going to tell you, be mindful of what you share. Many times, I'm telling you, many times the instinct is to sit down and say, this is who I am. This is what I'm looking for. This is what I want. This is just what it is. And putting your cards on the table. And again, that's a very mature approach. It really is. And 1 out of 10 times, you'll do that to the right person. I'm talking about those 9 other times, those 9 other frogs that you have to kiss. Those 9 other frogs don't look at it as, wow, this person's being honest. They're so upfront. They're a great communicator. Wow, I love the way she just kind of really tells me the real who she is. That's not what they're doing. What they're doing is, oh, that's the angle I got to take. That's the angle I got to take. All right. They're sizing you up. So when you're talking to a young man, when you're talking to a guy that's in your life, be mindful of that. And don't give too much. Kind of gain where he's at first to see if he actually matches you. Because if a woman says, oh yeah, because blue is like, the blue's amazing, and I love blue, and you gotta love blue. You know what a guy's gonna look at her and say? Oh yeah, blue. You know what? Let me tell you a story about blue. I'm so blue, and blue will blow your mind, because you know what? In my house, my whole house is blue, and that's how it goes. They feed off of what you're saying, and they grab it and they start to kind of make it their own, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my god! But I said I like blue, and he told me he liked blue. It's so crazy. It's like we match, and you start to make up these matches in your head, and it's what you didn't realize is that it was being planted. It was being put there. And again, listen, I want to backtrack a little bit. I'm not calling anybody stupid. I'm not calling you naive. I'm not saying anything. What I'm pointing out are some of the things that actually happen to you when you're constantly being screwed over, when you're constantly being jerked around by guys. All right. I want you to know that. I want you to be, we're speaking honestly here. I'm giving you a peek behind the curtain. I'm letting you know, you know what I mean? This is not for you to be like, no, and argue with me. I'm not trying to argue. I'm telling you who I've been and what I've done. And I'm telling you what a lot of my friends, when we talk, that's the game that they're talking about. All right. So I'll give you a couple of examples. So there's different types of game based on who you are. All right. I'll never forget this one. One of the ones that always like stands out and makes me laugh is church game. Church game is a big one. You know why? Because one of the first things women say is, I want a God-fearing man. I want a man that puts God first. I want a God-fearing man. I want a man that believes in God. And they put that out there from the door. So you know what men have done? Men have developed a repertoire, like a whole, persona surrounding the fact that they're churchgoers. They're church guys. And they will spit Deuteronomy and Psalms and Corinthians, and they will give you, and the Lord said, and the first will be, and they will give you verses and whatever, and they will carry their Bible around, and they will talk to you about the Lord, and let's pray together. They will absolutely do that. Absolutely do that. They'll tell you they have healing hands, and can they put their hands on you to help you heal? They will tell you all that. And let me tell you something, when that's what you're looking for, when you're already vulnerable, you've already been hurt by somebody who's not a God-fearing man, and this is what you've been looking for, and this is what you've been on your knees praying for, and a man shows up and he's talking that type of game, that church game, that that let's pray together, let's be one, let's be holy, let's that game, you literally feel like God sent you that. God must have sent him to me. I advise you to take a step back and ask yourself, did I feed that to him as far as who I was? Or was he this person when I met him? Now, don't get me wrong. You know, a lot of times you're gonna meet these guys in church. So you think they were already that's who they were. No, but it's like you know, it's like a thief who knows who his target is. A lot of them they know who their target is, so they know where to go to find their target demographic. This is my game, so I know where to go. I'm gonna be in a room full of women that have prayed to God every night to find a man that believes and loves God. See, this is where, like I said, you don't give him that information. You don't feed that to him. You hold on to that and you see how he interacts and who he is with the people around him and who he is in his life. Does he follow? Does he act in such a way that says, and I'm not talking about brother and sister and yes, God and talk the talk. I'm talking about watch how he moves without you when you told him no. Watch how he moves still around you. Who is he? You know, when you've held him off and kind of like made him wait, who's that person? You know what I'm saying? Are there cracks in that armor? Are you going to see certain things? Are you going to see certain moves? Is he willing to fornicate right away? And now these are for the people that are with the church game. Is he willing to make it physical right away? Whoa, hey, time out. You said you were of God. Hold on a second. How are you making it physical so fast? What's going on here? Why are we talking crazy and sexual? You know what I mean? These are things that you gotta like notice right away. And a lot of women, they'll fall into that trap because he showed them that he was such a, you know, he talked the talk and look who he is, and oh my God, and he dresses with the suit and he carries the Bible. You know what I mean? And then he comes over your house and that same night he's trying to sleep with you. Is that God-fearing? Is that what we're talking? Is that what we're doing? I mean, you have to hold yourself responsible as well because obviously you're letting him in and it's your choice. But don't tell me, hey, I don't know what I'm doing wrong when you see what's going on and you're falling for that. You know what I mean? That's just one of them. I always said the biggest lie a man ever told is I'm gonna. Men don't I'm gonna. When we don't, I'm gonna is not in our vocabulary. It doesn't exist. What does that mean? I'm gonna is a man that half steps for you. A man either is into you completely or he's not. All right. Don't ever believe for a minute that a guy that makes you feel lukewarm is not doing it on purpose. If you feel off balance, if you feel lukewarm, if there's inconsistency, the man is doing it completely on purpose because he's just not that into you. Oh, I'm sorry. I just, I don't have time. I'm working so much. I'm at this crazy time in my life. Okay, then go live your life. Walk away from that. Go live your life. Yes, it 100% exists that a man can be super busy and a man can be in a part of his life where it's in turmoil and he has so much going on. But let me show you something. Let me show you how that works. All right. And if you don't believe me, man, I could show you the poems. I could show you the wars. I could show you it all, man. There's examples all over the world about what I'm talking about. When you feel off balance, I always say the best way to know if a man is going to step up is if you step off. So like if you were going 50-50 with him emotionally, reciprocity, you want to know if he's going to step up? Back off. Make him come 60, you go 40. Make him come 80, you go 20 to see what he's really about. Because I'll tell you, it works like this. A man, I always talk about being somebody's Super Bowl. And what do I mean by that? I mean that being his Super Bowl is not about you being something special. It's about him making a decision. They say where a man sees value, the decision to commit is easy. So if a man's not committing to you, it's because he doesn't see the value in committing to you. So if he's telling you, oh, I don't have time, he doesn't see the value in making the time for you. I'm tired. He doesn't see the value of being tired and going the extra mile for you. He is he's got to do this and that, and he doesn't see the value in fitting you into that schedule. And that's a fact. That's not negotiable. I don't care what anybody says. I'll argue this till I'm blue in the face. And guys, obviously we are like, no, that's not true. That's our job. Our job is to have you, you set a boundary, you set a line. Our job is to erase that line and create a new one. And every time you allow us to do that, the line of respect is moved. And what you tolerate is moved. And what you have to take from us is moved. And that's our job. That's what we do as men. So it goes back to I'm gonna, right? Why is that so important? Because I always say, if you ask me, hey, Mike, you want to go to a wedding? I'm going to say, I don't know. Who's going? What time? I don't know. I have to go pick up my mom. I have to go to the airport. I have to go to work. I got to pick up my daughter. I had somewhere to go to the doctor. Now ask me, hey, Mike, you want to go to the Super Bowl? What time are we leaving? That's it. There's no other question. I'm not asking you. I'm not giving you any excuses. I'm telling you, what time are we leaving? You see the difference between something that I truly want and something that I'm lukewarm about. I don't care about. When I don't care, I have excuses, perfectly good reasons on why I can't. Perfectly good reasons why I can't. Legit. That sound 100% legit. But when it's the Super Bowl, what about your daughter? Man, fuck that. She can take an Uber. What about your mom? I'll figure it out. My sister will go get her. What about work? Fuck that job. That's just how it goes. And that's how men are with women that they absolutely adore, that they love. Nothing gets in the way. Why do you think people fight with their families? Why do you think people, there's all kinds of shit that happens because of that. So I'm gonna is bullshit. You are, you are. You're not gonna have step. People that really care about you and want you don't have step. They go all out for you all the time. Every single time they go all out for you. You know what I mean? And they make it happen. They don't see the value in moving across country for you. Oh, it just doesn't, I got my job here and I got whatever. Yeah, that's a great reason why not to move. But at the core of it, he's telling you, I don't see the value in moving across country to be with you. Because trust me, if he saw it, he would have been gone. Fuck that job. Fuck this. Fuck that. I've done it. I know that for a fact. I did it. I had a lot going on in New Jersey. And I just said, I'm out. Because I wanted out. And I bounced to Florida. And I bounced to Florida for a reason. The reason didn't work out. But that's how you act. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying impulsive. I'm saying they make the decision when the value, when people see the value, the decision to act is easy. So when a guy says I'm gonna, he's lying. Let's take it a little deeper. When guys are younger, all right, one of the games that they hit girls with, when after having conversation, a lot of girls are financially motivated, right? They want to know if you have a little something, or if you'll be able to take care of them, or if you have, they're kind of watching, seeing where you are financially. So one of the games guys play is they start talking to this girl, like, oh, her motivation is finances. And they start with the, I'm getting my credit together because I'm going to buy a house. No. That's not how that works. That's bullshit. You're either in the process and you're doing it, right? And when people are in the process and they're doing it, they're not talking, I'm gonna and I'm possibly, they're talking details. Yeah, I'm doing this and I'm taking care of this and this is how I'm handling this and this is where I went for this. What do you think? And they're legit in their search. And most important, a lot of times they don't even talk about it. They just do it. They're just acting on it behind the scenes. But when they find a woman that's motivated by finances and stuff, they start talking money. They start maybe talking the stock market. They start talking, um, you know, uh, interest rates, and they start talking. They start having these conversations to kind of reel you in. You know what I mean? They start talking whether it's a material. Maybe some women are materialistic, and they start talking about how they're buying X, Y, Z, or they're purchasing X, Y, Z, or how they live in this particular thing or that particular thing. I always say it's not what a man has; it's what a man is willing to share. That's the other part about it. While you're talking to these men, and if it's financial game that they're playing, that they're using, because they may have it. You know what I'm saying? They may have it. They may make the $400,000 or $500,000 a year. They may have the beautiful condo on the 57th floor and the beautiful sports car. They may have it, but what are they willing to share with you? What are they willing to present as part of your future? What good is it? I saw a meme one time and it was always resonating with me. It's like, um, what is it? He gave you $200, but he had 2 million. I gave you I gave you 20, but I had 25, or something like that. I don't know. Maybe it was 200 and I had. Oh yeah, he gave you 200 and he had 200,000. I gave you 200 and I had 250. Who's more valuable to you? Some people would be like, "Oh, I want the guy with the 200,000." No, no, no. He has 200,000. What is he willing to give you? What he's willing to give you is the same 200. The same $200 is what he's willing to give you. That is all. Nothing more, nothing less. Just because that $200 is dressed nice behind the scenes, is pretty, looks good, smells good, it doesn't mean it's yours. All he's giving you is the same exact $200 that the other guy's giving you. So be mindful that you're not falling for that financial game, because guys will talk that good shit. They'll talk about Airbnbs and yeah, I'm investing in this and I'm doing this and da 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 da. One of the things I want to tell people is, um, let me see. Let me look at the other financial. Oh, here's a great one. The sob story. Be mindful of the sob story. You are not anybody's mother. You are not um, here to heal or fix anybody. That's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is not to fix a man. You're not a Build-A-Bear or a Build-A-Bay. Okay? That's not your job. Oh, I'm just on a low right now. I'm just kind of like, see, here's what women do. Women love to give the benefit of the doubt, and they fucking put themselves in a corner. They end up screwing themselves by putting themselves in a corner, you know? And it's fucked up because you literally cannot do that. You cannot do that. You cannot put somebody before yourself. Oh, I understand because, sometimes people go through stuff. It's not your job to understand that they're going through stuff. That's not your job. Once you guys are in love and once you guys are in a serious relationship where you guys have been through some shit, yes, by all means, that's different. See, I don't want to confuse that. Then, yeah, you got to be there for each other, hold each other down. That's different. This is, I just met you. Like, we just went on a date. We just went out. We just started dealing with each other. We're maybe on date number 2 or 3. And I'm already dealing with what? You want me to drive because your car is, yeah, you're having issues with this and you're going through that. And, oh, you had a flood in your house and da da da. Wait, time out. Here is a dime I'm about to give you, ladies. If it sounds like a story, it's a story. And right there, we're going to take a pause because I want to jump in with one of my sponsors. And let's go. In this life, some people are in a rush to reach their destination, while others prefer to enjoy the ride. Some drink to get drunk, and some savor the taste of fine wine or a good meal. If you're in the latter, sit back and delight in a unique journey with Queen Meats International. Her scents and unique infusion methods are designed to take the proverbial edge out of life. Queen Meat's number one goal is to guide you down a more sophisticated and gentle cannabis experience, perfect for meditation, yoga, or turning down from the stress of daily life. Backed by hours of research, our candles are made from a unique blend of imported oils and a wick that burns slower and cleaner to get the most out of your investment. If you're someone who enjoys the finer things in life, we would love to be your introduction to the high life. You can find us on Instagram at Queen Meats International. You can also find us at the Queen Meats at gmail.com. And I always have my candle handy, ready to go. Nothing like it. All right. And so back to it. If it sounds like a story, it's a story. I'm gonna shit all over myself right now, and I'm gonna look bad, but I'm gonna do it for a good cause. And I preface it by saying I've evolved. I'm a person who has changed. I've grown. That's not me anymore. So I hope I'm not being judged by the guy, that I was a couple of years ago. I've definitely evolved and definitely changed. And I don't think in that manner anymore. I'm not motivated by those things anymore, by the females just, trying to chase and look for that. That's not what I want out of my life anymore. So, I preface it by saying that. Let's go into if it sounds like a story, it's a story. What does that mean? I used to date a lot online when I came to New Jersey. Okay. When I came from New Jersey, I dated a lot. Like after I had a breakup and then I started dating online. And I would meet some amazing young ladies, some great people some I'm still friends with. I met some great, great women, man. And the truth is, I really was in a time in my life where I didn't love myself. I had gone through something and I didn't even know who I was. I didn't even know where my 2 feet would stand. I was really in a flux emotionally. So I know I didn't love myself. And I was literally online using women as band-aids for emotions that need stitches. They always say I was on the right track, but on the wrong train, man. I was really headed nowhere. And one of the things I would do to avoid getting close to people, because I would meet women and they were amazing. They were amazing. And I'd make connections, very superficial connections on my end, but nonetheless connections. And because I'm a good communicator, a lot of these women were like, wow, that's what I've been looking for. Remember I told you earlier, you would sit across from a guy and you would talk. Well, what I started to learn is that a lot of women who are overthinkers, they need a communicator in their life. So when an overthinker ran into me, I was their wet dream. I was everything they've looked for. This guy talks and he shares and oh my God, I don't know how to pull teeth to have a conversation with him. And he's romantic and he's sweet and he's nice and oh my God. And, and they thought they found the one. So I'd always end up with a situation where a young lady would say, oh Mike, why don't we, take this to the next level? I really care about you. And I'd be like, I'd be want to slam the brakes. My brain would be like, slamming the brakes. Like an 18-wheeler, slamming on the brakes. And I had to develop a way out of it, right? But I'm going to put you onto this. Remember I told you before, if a man makes you feel off balance, if a man makes you feel unsure and he's not consistent, it's on purpose. I'm gonna spell it out for you. I'm gonna show you what I meant by that. I would meet these women, right? And they'd fall for me. And it'd be like, oh, let's take it to the next level. Let's move on. I think I really like you. I think we could do well together. And I'd have to think of a way. How do I get this woman to not hate me because I want to be able to double back? Think of what I'm saying. I don't want you to hate me. So I have to have a really good excuse on why we can't be together so that I could double back whenever I want. Because when I double back, I'm not doubling back and you're not saying, oh, this guy's an asshole. I'm doubling back and you're saying, well, it just wasn't the right time and he's going through so much and I get it, whatever. So I'll give you, and this, I'm such a scumbag for this, but if I'm looking to help people, I'm going to put it out there. One of the things that I used to do was I have a daughter that lives in New Jersey. Me and my daughter are super close. We're like this. We're super tight. That's my baby girl. Me and her are like freaking frack, right? And we talk every day. We just have similar personality. We just, we're really tight. And it's been like that forever since she was a baby. It's always been like that. Like we just her, just, you know what I mean? Her and mom are a little, they're the same, but a little different. Me and her are exactly the same. Weird. So, I would talk about her a lot with the girls that I was with the women that I was with. Oh, my daughter, I love my daughter. I'm going to go to New Jersey to see her. I miss her. Oh my God, my daughter. And when they said, hey, let's take this to the next level, let's be together, I would say something like, I would, but I have one foot here and one foot in New Jersey. My daughter's young and she needs me. I know. Please don't shoot me. I was a scumbag. I know. We've already covered that. I apologize. But that's what that would be the game. The game was, no, my daughter, I have one foot here and one foot in New Jersey. No self-respecting woman is gonna be is gonna say, fuck your daughter, choose me. It's just you end up looking like an asshole if you do that. You end up looking real bad if you do that. So most women understand, oh yeah, I get it. Oh my God, yeah. And they're not gonna, you're such a good dad. Yeah, of course. Oh my God, like that must be so hard. And they forget about their own feelings. Remember what I told you before? We covered this. Stop putting other people's feelings in front of yours. Your job is not to fix people's lives. It's not to make them better. It's not to understand their situation. It's not. Your only job in this thing is to make sure that, look, this is what I'm presenting. If you could fit my narrative, my picture, then you're in. If you can't, then you're out. So, but it's real easy as women to just, you're so forgiving, you're so sweet that you're like, oh no, I get it. So it's cool. Oh yeah, no, I know. That must be so rough. And I was off the hook. So you know what Mike could do? Mike could disappear a week, 2 weeks. Oh, I'm going to Jersey. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm handling some stuff. Disappear for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe a month. Hey, call her back. Hey, what's up? How have you been? Now, remember, I told you, I'm not an asshole to her. I was just really busy. I just had a lot going on. So now I could double back. And you need to understand that a man that truly cares about you doesn't do that. They don't do that. That's not it. That's not it. Remember what I told you? They make the sacrifice and they're like, I'm already here in Florida. I mean, you meet the right woman, you're in love. You're already here in Florida. You're full of shit because you would have left already if that was the case. You would have been gone. There's nothing holding you here. You know what I'm saying? You would have made this decision with or without me. Or if you're gonna make it, you're gonna make it whether you're with me or not. There's no nonsense here. There's no bull. So I don't want to hear none of that. The truth is, when a man sees value, the decision to commit is easy. There is no excuse. There is no make. So now I have you feeling off balance. I have you feeling, a little bit off, not understanding, calling you every now and then, but not being consistent with the phone calls because, I have to go to Jersey, I have to come back, and I'm not going to be here. And I'm thinking of taking a trip to go see my daughter, and da da da. So now I have you off balance. Are we in a relationship? We're not. When we're together, it feels like we're in a relationship. But when we're not here, you're not here. You don't even call me. You're inconsistent. You don't reach out. There's no connection. This is all game. This is all part of it. This is all a story. You know how many guys I've met, right? That tell a girl a story in the beginning, and she 100% believes them. Just automatically believes him. It's the craziest shit ever. She automatically believes him. I've had guys, right, tell girls, oh, I'm living with my mom right now because, my apartment got flooded. Yeah, man, I got a 2-bedroom right over here in this really nice little part of town, blah, 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 but my house got flooded. And it's the funniest shit because they'll drive the girl over there and they'll drive the girl over there. They'll take her by the house. Yeah, that's it right there. That's the apartment. And the girl just believes him and goes and hangs out at mommy's house, not understanding that, why does your mom have the big bedroom? How come mama has the big bedroom? Wait, I thought you lived with your mother. Your mother lives with you? Which one is it here? How come she's mad that you haven't given her rent money? Wait, what the hell? You understand what I'm saying? It's so funny. And women will fall for this shit. And they'll believe it. I'm going to give you another. I'm going to throw myself under the bus again. Anybody who knows me has heard this story a million times. I'm going to tell you the story of the boat. The story of the boat goes like this. When I lived in New Jersey, I worked in Hoboken. And I had a friend of mine that worked on the dock down in Hoboken, like on one of the, where you put your boats or whatever. And I'm with this girl. And after talking to her for a little bit, I realized, oh, shit, she likes guys with a little bit of bread. She likes guys with a little bit of swag that I got shit going for them. I was in college, just started college. I was working at, down there. I didn't really have much going on. You know what I'm saying? I had some aspirations. I had, a future ahead of me. But at that moment, I didn't have 2 cents, two nickels to rub together. But I always looked nice, dressed nice. It was cool. So one night we go out, and I had like my paycheck, and I was able to buy her some drinks and do some nice stuff. And it looked like I was balling out there. And I knew a bartender, so he hooked us up. And it looked like I was balling. And we're talking, and I remember her saying something about, oh my God, those, I want to go on a boat, and the boat, this guy, and she mentioned somebody. So I was like, oh yeah, I have a boat. She looked at me, she's like, you don't have no boat. Shut up. You don't have a boat. I'm like, I do. I have a boat. She's like, you're lying. I go, no, I do. I have a boat. And I gave her this. Yeah, I got a boat. It's, over there. And it's just, I gave her some specs on the boat, and this is what it is. And yeah, that's my boat, over there. Da, 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 da. It's parked in, Hoboken, blah, blah, blah. I mean, Weehawken and blah, blah, blah. You don't have, I do. And she finally believes, oh my God, you have a boat. That's so cool, baby. I go, yeah, I'll take you out. We're going to go out on my boat one of these days. Yeah. Oh my God, you got a boat. That's so cool. She leaves me. She goes out with her, goes home, goes see her friends. Her friends are like, boat? What are you, stupid? He doesn't have no boat. What are you, an idiot? Oh my God, I can't believe you fell for that shit. He doesn't have a boat. So she comes back. And she comes to me and she's like, Mike, my friend said you're lying to me. You don't have a boat. You don't have a boat. I'm like, why do you have to lie to me? I'm not lying to you. I take her down to Weehawken. We had gone down to like the steakhouse. And when we come out, I look at her and I point and I go, yeah, that's my boat right there. And I point at some random boat that's in the water. That's my boat. Yeah, oh wow, oh my God, yeah, that's my boat. Look, yeah, it used to be my uncle's, and he ended down. I gave her a whole story about the boat. She goes home that night. I drive her home. I go home. She goes home. She goes, sees her sister. Her sister's like, what? You think he has a boat because he pointed at a boat? Yo, what are you, stupid? Oh my God, my sister's retarded. Oh my God, you're an idiot. How the hell do you believe that he had a boat? What are you, stupid? Da 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 da. She comes back to me. We're hanging out. And she's like, my sister said that, oh, I'm an idiot because I believe that because you just pointed at the boat. We didn't even go to the boat. We didn't even go over there. You don't even touch the boat. You don't know the boat. You don't have a boat. I literally grab her hand. I walk her all the way down the little walkway, the pier walkway. I put my leg up on the boat like this, like if I'm thinking and I'm talking to her. Yeah, this is my boat. And I'm chatting with her up. And I'm like, yeah, this is it. This is my boat. And then we sit on the edge of the boat, like just on the edge with our feet on the dock, talking like, yeah, this is my boat. Whatever. Da 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 da. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Just my friends are all in my ear. They just, they just haters, and they think that, that men, every guy lies. And I try to tell them that you don't lie, that you're telling the truth, and that you're such a good guy. And I'm like, oh, thanks, So once again, she leaves, she comes back. Same thing. They were laughing because they said, we didn't even get on the boat, and you supposedly have a boat. You're such a liar. You're lying to me. I know you're lying to me. I'm like, I thought we had this conversation. No, you're lying. You're lying because, we all this time, we've never even one time gone on your boat. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, now it's getting, crazy. So I have my boy, from the area. I have my boy that works security. And I'm like, hey, yo, I need a favor, brother. Homie, I need to get on that boat with this girl. Like, we're going to have like a little date. And I'm going to bring her and we're going to hang out on the boat. We're not going to take it out or anything, but we're just going to like chill. I'm going to bring some blankets, I want to hook up with her on the boat. My man's like, for you, Nav, I got you. We good. Go ahead. We good. So I surprise her and I bring her down to the pier and I bring her over to the boat and we get on the boat and we sit there and I literally have like, little candles and some champagne and a blanket on the front of the boat part, where the little platform thing is. And we're hanging out there and she's like, oh my God. And we're kissing and making out and, this stuff. And we fall asleep. And literally I only wake up because the sun is coming up and I'm like, and it's all the hell. My old cell phone is going off, and I pick it up, and it's my boy. And he's like, "Yo, are you still there? Yo, I'm leaving, bro. They're coming, man. They're coming. Like I don't know who it was, the harbor man. I don't know who was coming, but somebody was coming to that boat. They're like, I think he's going to the boat. They're going. You got to get out of there. You got to leave. You got to leave. You got to leave. So I look at this girl and I go, "Oh shit, we gotta go. We gotta go." And she's like, "But why? Oh my God, why are we such a rush? Oh my God, no, we had such a nice night. What are you doing? What are you doing?" I'm like, "No, we gotta go. We gotta go." And I grab her, and I see the people like opening the first gate, and they can't really see us, but I see them down there. I'm seeing, and we have to get off this boat. So I'm grabbing everything, wrapping it in the blanket, and we get off the boat, and we're walking like really fast, and she's like practically falling because she had heels on the night before, and she's walking, whatever, and the people are walking towards us, and we'll walk past them. I didn't even look back because I didn't want to look to see if they looked in that boat and if I left something behind. We just hauled ass and bounced. And when we get to the car, I sit down next to her. After all her defending of me, after all her fighting with her friends of me, after me step by step showing her that I had a boat, that it was my boat, putting her on the boat, bringing the boat, showing her the boat. It's the boat. I come clean and I'm like, look, I gotta tell you the truth. I don't have a boat. This girl looked at me and I know she was mad, but more than being mad, she just started crying. Like, I can't believe I can't believe I fell for that shit. I'm so stupid. Oh my God, you're such an asshole. And And I'm like, would you have liked me if I didn't have a boat? Said, that's not even important. Stop trying to like change the subject. Because that's exactly what I was trying to do. I was trying to change the subject. But point being, look at the links that a guy goes to make a story look real. You don't have to fall for any of that. Just understand this one thing. If it sounds like a story, it's a story. Oh, but I have to go down to, to get, and I didn't, and my daughter and my baby mother, and I gotta, if it sounds like a story, it's a story, and it's usually bullshit. Usually. So like I said, sometimes it's real, but it's not your job. It's not your job. Now, one of the last things I want to go into is a lot of women run into and the word narcissist is thrown around. I don't think people use it appropriately. They attach that to like people all the time. Like they just throw it at random. Oh, he's a narcissist. I hear it all the time, and I'm like, I don't I don't think that person fits that. Like that's not exactly, it may be some narcissistic traits, some behaviors, certain things, or even just selfish things that they do. But narcissist is a strong word, man. People love throwing that around. But I will warn you about this. There are men that are narcissists out there. There are men that are selfish. There are men, let's call them takers. Let's not use the word narcissist. It's just thrown around too much. It's a term reserved, I know, in psychology and in for therapy that people use. And for this purpose, I don't want to use, let's just use selfish, self-centered, those kind of adjectives that you run into. And it sucks for a good woman because a lot of good women, they are nurturers, they're givers. And the problem with being a self-centered person, a taker, let's call him a taker, is a giver gives to get love. That's why they're giving. We can't sit here and act like they're giving selflessly. Oh, I'm just giving because I'm a giving person and I want to give. No, you're giving because you think if you give, you're going to get love. And you'll find that a lot of women will be in relationships where they constantly give parts of themselves, give all of themselves to a guy who's a taker. And you know what happens? It's like a black hole. There's no reciprocity. That never comes back to you. It never comes back. And you end up feeling empty, unfulfilled, unhappy, sick to your stomach, wondering, how come I give so much and I don't get anything back? How come I gave my all and I never received, I never got love back? He never loved me. Because you were given to a taker. And a taker, it's not in his nature to give. So he's going to take. You're going to give more, I take more. You give more, I take more. You give more, I take more. And that's just what it is. You give, I take. And nothing changes. And you run across that. Oh, that's one of the huge mistakes that women make when they're dating. When they're first dating, they meet a guy and they think, let me make myself an invaluable part of this man's life. Let me make myself the missing piece of his puzzle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill all these little empty gaps that he has in his life right away. And he's going to see the value in me and he's going to want to be with me. Hold your horses. That's not how it works. We're doing things behind the scenes mentally and emotionally with you. We're having a dance with you that you have no idea is happening. So whether we fall for you or not, we're falling for you. We want you, want to be with you. It really, you don't have a lot of control over that. You are who you are, So you may be like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And he was going to fall for you regardless. That's the cherry on top. You being that special, warm person, that sweet person, that person that does these things for him. That's the cherry on top to a good man. To a shitty man, you're an opportunity. You're a victim. You're not a victim. Victim is a strong word. You are a target. You're somebody I'm going to use to get stuff done. You're somebody I'm going to use and I'm never going to give anything back because I don't have to. Because you're a giver. You're a giver by nature. And guess what? Because you're a giver, you're always going to give searching for love. And by the time you realize I'm not going to give you that love back, you might be stuck in a full-fledged relationship with a guy that's a complete asshole. And you're stuck there. And then you're in a cycle of how do I get out of here? Maybe it's abusive. And maybe it's a narcissistic relationship. But that's what ends up happening. So that's one of the things to look for. You got to look within yourself and say, hey, am I giving to get love? You know what I mean? Like I always say, there comes a point where love goes from being selfish to selfless. That's when it's love. Once you fall in love with somebody, then it's different. Remember, I want to make that line. I want to have that line set up where we're not mixing that up. That's different. Once you're in love, these rules don't apply. It's when you're dating, when you're seeing each other, when you're talking phase, that you start to give and you become this superhero in their life. Oh, they don't really have a job, so you start getting them jobs. They don't really have a place to stay, so you kind of help fix up and get them a place to stay. And they don't have a car, so you figure out a way to get them around. You let them use your car. You know what I mean? You go above and beyond for people that don't deserve it. You know what I'm saying? So be mindful that you're not giving love in exchange for love. Because a lot of the times with the people that you're going to remember, 9 out of 10 times, nine frogs out of the 10 are not capable of loving you the way you need to be loved. So when you're giving, they're taking, laughing. Like, gosh, let her give you, she's giving it, I'm taking it. Oh shit, you ever heard people say that? Well, if they're gonna give it, I'm just gonna take it. And they're gonna keep taking it until it runs out, until you're empty. And you don't want that. So I hope that the fact that I opened up a little bit about myself and some of the bullshit that I've done, I hope some of the conversation that I've had about strategies that men use, I hope talking about giving and taking, I hope if it's a story, resonates. I hope that you understand that if a man sees value, the decision to commit to you is easy. A man cannot be into you and inconsistent. It doesn't go together. It defies the laws of physics. It doesn't go together. It doesn't match. You know what I'm saying? You can't be inconsistent and really want to be with somebody. It doesn't work that way. There's different types of game that I want you to recognize. And, hopefully one day, those men grow up and they understand that the highest level of game is honesty. It's the truth. I went over in my live podcast about being undeniable. But, yeah, I hope this helped. I hope this answered that question of, what specifically can I look for? I'm going to give you one last one. One last one. And this is a little bit of a controversial one because it could be perceived as a game that a woman will play. But I'll be honest with you, it's legit. It's legit. If you're into a guy that you haven't committed to yet, that you like, right? And you want to see if he's the real deal, I encourage you to put up a hurdle. There's this thing I have. It's called obstacles and hurdles. Obstacles are things that come from within that block your blessings in a way. It's lack of trust. It's things that you've been through, pushing these guys away. Like just there's things that you do, jealousy. There's things that come out of you that you do. That you put your own obstacles in your own way and block your own blessings when it comes to finding love. All right? That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is a hurdle. A hurdle is something that you put up so you can tell the difference if you're dealing with a boy or a man. I encourage you guys to work like this, man. I know it sounds, oh, you're playing games, but listen, if you're one of these women that have this, what can I look for? This is one of the game changers right here. Put up a hurdle. Why? What does a hurdle mean? I'll give you an example. I have a friend. She really liked this guy. Guy of average means, blue collar guy, worked hard, really hard. Good guy. She likes him. She likes him. She sees how hard he works. He's a good dude. And she's trying to see, like, all right, let's see if we're gonna move on. What kind of guys are you really that into me? So she looks and she says, hey man, I want to go to this really nice restaurant. Now this restaurant requires a reservation, and it's like it requires a down payment kind of thing. It's very upscale, very expensive. we're talking about a couple $100 per person to go eat there. She tells him that. She says, hey, I would love to go eat there, man. Like, I really would love that. It's like, one of the things on my bucket list. I really want to go do that. Right? A boy goes, looks at the menu and says, oh, fuck no. Hell no, I'm not taking. What? You're talking about like, hell no, I'm not taking you there. Why? Because he looks at you and says, I don't see the value in you that's worth this price. That's exactly what he's saying. Whether it's true or not, it's exactly what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? I don't see, hell no, I'm not spending that kind of money on you. It's fucked up. Why would you even ask me that? That's foul, man. That's crazy. Oh, man, this girl's bougie. Da, 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 da. That's how a boy reacts. A man looks at the menu and says, okay, yo, man, this girl is fucking, I don't want to lose. She's amazing, man. You know what? This is what I'm going to do. Hey, listen, you know that restaurant you want to go to? I really want to take you there. Do you mind if we go, like, I'm going to set a reservation for, like, in a couple of weeks. Is that okay? Essentially, you got to get some money together to be able to go there, right? You're telling him that. You're basically telling her that. Like, I got to get some stuff together, but I want to take you there because that's what you want. Now, here's where you stop. You don't make this man take you to a fucking ridiculously expensive restaurant. That's not what this is about. This isn't about jumping the hurdle. It's about the attempt. A boy walks up to the hurdle, doesn't even attempt it, says, hell no, you're not worth it. A man walks up to it, sees your value, and says, okay, I'm going to figure this out because you're worth it. And he says, I'm going to figure this out because you're worth it. And you stop him right there and say, you don't have to jump this hurdle. It's not about jumping this hurdle. It's about the fact that you thought I was worth jumping the hurdle. The fact that you thought I was worth jumping the hurdle tells me that I'm dealing with a man. I'm not dealing with a boy. I always say this. Remember, it's one of my favorite things to say. The only man that complains about the standard, the only person that complains about the standard is the boy that cannot meet the standard. Men meet the standard. Boys don't meet the standard. And they complain. And they don't see the value in you to attempt something so, it seems overwhelming. A man will see the value in you and say, you know what? I'm going to do what it takes to keep this woman. If this is what she wants, this is what I'm going after. And it's your job as the woman to say, no, thank you. I appreciate your attempt. I love this. Thank you for seeing the value in me. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to close with that. I really hope that you got something out of this, especially if you're dating, getting ghosted, dealing with men that are inconsistent, finding yourself repeating the same cycle of not being happy, man, not being fulfilled by the guys or the men that are in your life. I really hope that you gain something from this. I hope you gain something from me being a little vulnerable and opening myself up, even to ridicule, to being laughed at and joked upon about some of the things that I've done as an idiotic young guy, but I think that it's worth it. I want to thank you for joining me tonight. This has been an episode of the Hopeful Romantic M.A.N. podcast. I'm your host, Dropping Dimes, a.k.a. the Hopeful Romantic, a.k.a. the feminist with chauvinist tendencies. Mark Twain says the two most important days of your life are the day you're born and the day you discover why. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me on the Hopeful Romantic podcast, the Hopeful Romantic M.A.N. podcast, and helping me walk in my way.
I know I'm fine, but the money makes me handsomer. Walk around smelling like a come up in the answer for her problems, but I'm not